Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back out here with the Club Car DS, and today the object is to put on the GTW Mach 3 rear seat kit for this. This is a 2007 Club Car DS, so this seat kit will work for at least that. I think there's a range 2000 and up or something like that. It's got quite a range for this same seat. It seems like a pretty simple install. We're going to be removing these upper struts, the back sweater basket, and things like that in the back. So before we get going with that, let's open this box and see what we got included. All right, guys, here we are with it. This box is pretty heavy, so make sure you have a buddy help you. It's at least 105 pounds by itself here. This is the GTW Mach 3, like I said, for the Club Car DS. Here's the number 01143. We're going to pop this open and see what is all in here. There's going to be a bunch of bags of different hardware and things like that. Don't let it overwhelm you. At least they include the hardware. I know some don't include some. So we did get the buff, that seat color. They call it buff or whatever. Let's see if you guys can see that. It kind of matches what the front ones were, but our front ones are covered. We're going to put covers on all these, so this color don't matter to us really, but that's what we got. So we got the seat covers. We got the struts because we're going to be changing those out. And then I got all this other hardware. Just a bunch of hardware and seat stuff. So we're going to get all this stuff laid out neatly, and then we'll start taking apart the back of the cart to get this installed. So let's go do that. All right, guys, here we go. We have it all laid out on a blanket here. You can see the footrest. This is the base, the seats, the struts, all the other poles. There's 6 bags of hardware. They're labeled 1 through 6, so when you're reading the directions, it'll tell you what bag of hardware to use. So it looks like a lot, but it goes together pretty quick once you get the other stuff off the cart, which that's what we're going to end up doing first here. We have this cover that covers the golf clubs when it was on here. We got to take that off first. Then we'll end up taking like the back of the seat off, and we'll unbolt the back part of the roof and prop that up, because we're going to be changing those struts out right there. And then all this will come off as a whole. There's a couple bolts you'll see like right here. You'll have to take this off, which is with the Phillips, number 3 Phillips. That way you can get to the nut on the back side of that. So that's pretty much the only thing you have to remove there. Then this kit, everything goes in the same position, like uses the same holes, so you don't have to drill any holes or anything. So we'll also have to take the bumper off, because the one bracket mounts that area. So that's what we're going to have to do. But first, let me show you what tools we're going to need to do this job, and then we'll get this thing started. All right, guys, here are the few tools you're going to need. Yours might be a little different. You might have to add some, but we got the big Phillips. We're going to need to take the bumper off and get to the motor cover. We got 1 ratchet. We got a pair of channel locks, because we don't have the wrenches near us right now, so we're just going to use these for the back side to hold the nuts. This is an 11 millimeter. We got a 17 millimeter and a 10 millimeter. And of course, we got our little impact driver socket adapter to put in this will make your job a little faster. So this is what we need to do ours. We're going to get started over here. Get you guys over here. We're going to get started taking our top canopy off like we mentioned before. We're going to do that. That's pretty easy. Just going to get 11 millimeter onto there with a Phillips. Take this off, then you can slide it. Then you can slide the whole thing right out. There you go. You can slide this thing right out. And then we'll get to taking the motor cover off, getting this bracket off, supporting the canopy. But we'll show you that when we get to it. And we'll show you a little bit of what we're doing. So let's get started on that. All right, just like that, we're taking each side off. Save your hardware. You never know when you might need it again. You can keep it all together. Everything. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Then we'll slide it out of the top. Right, now that we got both of these out, it's as simple as just sliding that right out towards you guys. And this piece is done. We're going to put that in storage. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take our struts and undo the bolts up here. Those are also 11 millimeter. We're going to undo all 4 of them. There's 2 on this side, 2 on the other. We're going to prop up our canopy, and that way we can get the struts and everything off as a whole. So let's get those loosened up. It's going to use the same one these ones just did. You're going to use the 11 there. You can use a broomstick or a piece of pipe anything you need to prop it up. All right, we got all 4 of them bolts out of the canopy. You're going to want to retain those bolts, so don't lose those, because you'll reuse these ones for your canopy. You'll notice on these there is blue Loctite. There are probably enough left on there for you to use them again, or you could put some back on there. We don't want those loosened up, so we're going to set those aside. You can prop this up, like I said, with a broomstick or something. We're just going to try to prop it up. There we go. Prop it up with like this 4-foot level. We're going to prop this up, that way it's out of our way when we're doing the other part. So we're going to get doing that, and then we'll get taking this back piece off. All right, we got ours propped up. We just use our 4-foot level. You can use, like I said, pipe broomstick. If you can't get yours to lift up enough, just take one more out of each side in the front. That way it'll allow it to pivot. Makes it a little easier. So that's a pro tip, even though we're not pros. Next thing we're going to do is get this back seat off. We'll be reusing it, but we need to get it off because all these brackets are going to be changed. So we're going to use, what size was these ones?
11, I believe.
11, same as what we've been using. 11 millimeter. We'll get these off. So we're going to zip those out. If we can get to them with this, we can get to one of them maybe. Nope, we're going to have to use our ratchet. All right, you can see 11 millimeter gets these 4 out. There's 2 on each side. These don't have a nut, so you can just get those out. We're going to do this on both sides, and this backrest will come off, or this front seat back will come off. And then that allows us to get this whole thing off as a whole, and we'll show you that part next. So we're just going to continue this and then get to that next part. All right, next thing we want to do is take this motor cover off. There's just 2 big Phillips screws. We took the one out. Now we're going to take this other one out. And this is just going to lift and pull towards you because it slides in. So make sure you set that aside with the screws, because you'll be reusing that also. All right, the next spot we want to do is get these brackets from this back part here. You may need to move your seat. You can use a wrench or a ratchet. I can use my ratchet, but if you have to, remember to support your canopy while you move that. There's 2 on each side. We're just going to get all 4 of these. We're just going to take these out, and then we'll move to the other ones here, which these ones here have a nut on the back side. That's why we took that motor cover off. That allows us to get to those. So we'll just continue to take these out and move to the next part. All right, guys, we got these front ones off. Just as a reference, those are 12 or a ½ inch or 13 millimeter. So that was another size we didn't mention in the beginning. These are also, there's a nut on the back here. You got one here and one on this side. They're also ½ inch. They're a carriage bolt, so there's nothing on top. Just hold it down, take each side off, and then once you get these 2 off, this whole back section will lift off as a whole. So we're going to continue to get these 2 off, and then we'll show you how to lift the whole thing off. All right, guys, we got those last 2 out. This thing's ready to move out. We're just going to peel it back here. There it is. We're just going to set that aside. And now we're starting blank from here. Now's where we're going to start assembling our new seat and start putting it on. So let's go over here, see what step 1 is, see what we're putting on here first. Next thing we got to do to complete taking this off, because I forgot this one, is we got to take this rear bumper off. It's going to have to come off. That's a number 3 Phillips we're going to use. Then your ½ inch socket on the back end. I'll be careful, there is a washer. You want to make sure you don't lose that. There it is. We have all ours out, bumpers out. And now we can go on to step 1 of putting it on. All right, the next thing we're going to want to do, the first step on this, is we're going to want to take our brackets here, set those in place. This hole and this hole are going to line up with the holes here. We'll deal with that one down there later. And then you're also going to want your other seat back bracket, which is going to go here like this. And we're going to use the retained hardware we took out of here to put these ones back together. So all right, after you got these ones in, guys, we're going to want to go to these center ones, and that's in pack 1. You're going to use 2 of the 8x30 bolts and nuts with the washers, and you're just going to put those on, put a washer on, put it through, and then on the back side you want to put those on the back side. Don't tighten anything down yet. We're going to tighten them up at the end once we get everything positioned. So just get this started on there, just a little like that, because we're going to be going to that back end. We want to be able to move it a little bit. So We're going to continue on putting those middle ones in. Then we'll go to this back part. All right, next we want to put the footrest bracket back here on the bumper area. It's going to go in like this. Then you're going to use the rest of the hardware from pack 1 to bolt this all together. They're the 10 by 30s. Unfortunately, in our pack 1, they sent us one that's the wrong size. So we're going to have to locate one that's that works for us. But you put them down through each hole, each set of holes you got. Right here, all the way across in all 4 holes, and get those set up in there. So, like I said, we're one short. We're going to have to locate that. But continue doing that until you get them all on. All right, guys, now that we got this bracket all together and everything, we're going to tighten stuff down. On this, you're going to want to pull this way when you tighten, because the next bracket that goes on top will be needing that distance. So just continue to tighten all the ones you just did, tighten them all down. All right, guys, we found our bolt for here that's missing. Now that we got that, before you tighten any of these, you want to make sure you put your footrest in between there and you bolt all that together like that. Then you're going to put your bolt or your washer and nut on the back. You're going to do that for over here too, and then you can tighten everything down. All right, guys, now that we got this footrest on, it's only on for part of it, so don't try to stand on it yet or anything. Now that we got all that tightening that on, next we're going to do is put that motor cover back on. Just reverse what you did before. A couple number 3 Phillips screws in there like so, and then we're going to put our seat on, and we're going to start on those front bracket holes first. So get this in real quick. Here we go. This is where you're going to use pack number 2. So you're going to get yourself a helper. Just going to set this on. In the back here, you'll line up the holes, use pack number 2, use 2 of the bolts out of there with the washers and lock nuts to mount it here. That's what we're going to mount first. Remember, bolt, washer, washer, nut. And don't tighten these yet. You got some on the front to do also. All right, now that you got those top ones put in, next there's going to be 2 of them down here. You can see kind of through there. There's one here and one on the other side. You're going to put those in. Don't tighten anything until you're done with step 12 in the instructions. So we're going to get these put in and tightened up. You can see he's got one going in over here. Can you see that? We got one going in there. We're going to do the other one over here. And then we'll go on to the next step. All right, next thing we got to do is attach the seat back support bar right here. It's going to go inside your frame here. And then these will go on top. We're going to set that in place for right now. And then also we're going to want to get our bars ready to go on. The first one we're going to do is attach right here with your, this is going to be pack number 3. You're going to want to use your countersunk bolt like that. Those ones he's showing you. You're going to put that on the inside here through it, and then you want to put a washer and a nut on the back side. This is the one that's going to use the acorn nuts. There's 2 of them. They go here facing out, so you want to get those 2 in place. So we're going to do that on this side and that side, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, we got those side ones in with the acorn nuts. Now we're going to go up here to the back part, and it's going to use 4 of these. There's 6 longer bolts in there. They're the 10 by 70 millimeter. You're going to put those through with a washer on both sides, just like this. Remember, don't tighten anything down yet. And there. Next, we're going to take the last 2, and they're going to go at the bottom of the arm down here. If you guys can see it, down here at the bottom, it's going to go there with a couple brackets. So we're going to grab those brackets and go down there. All right, now that we're down here at the bottom, we're just going to get our bolt. You're going to take these brackets, and that's going to mount here to help support this footrest. So What you're going to want to do is put it in behind with your hole lined up at the bottom. It'll sit in like that. We're going to do that on both sides. We're just going to finger tighten them like we've been doing with all these. Don't throw your nuts around. Then we're going to get this other side over here. So we're just going to continue this and we'll go on to the next thing. We're getting closer. Most of it's on here now. All right, the next step here is step number 9. We're going to be putting the brackets on the back of our seat cushion on the back. So just flip this over. You're going to use hardware pack number 4, and it has the bolts we're going to use for that. And it takes these 2 brackets here. The holes look all-sided, but there's holes here, kitty corner. You're just going to do that same thing here to where you're offsetting them like this on both sides, like so. And we're going to use this hardware and attach it down. Looks like we have a flat washer and a lock washer, so make sure you put your lock washer on first, then your flat washer. And just go ahead and do all these and tighten them down. All right, we got our brackets on the seat back. What we're going to do now is we're going to put it here. It's going to be, this bracket is going to be between this bar and this bar. So we're just going to put it on here, slide it over. There you go. And then you're going to be lining up the holes that way. And you're going to use pack number 5. And you're going to use the 10 by 50 millimeter bolts. That'll be the shortest ones in that pack to get this all lined up together. This is why you leave it all loose, so you can get these all lined up. All right, guys, now we're on to putting the new struts on. They're going to go to the back of the seat support bar with the remaining hardware in pack number 5, which is the 70 millimeter bolts. You're just going to put them through like that with a washer and nut on the back side also. And you're going to do that for all two of them on each side. Now, if you have the older model of these from like 1982 to 2000, you're going to need, that has the 2 lean back cushions, you're going to need the candy cane struts, which are sold separately. So if you are thinking about doing this, make sure you order those ahead of time so you have them. But we got this side in, he's getting that side in. We're almost to where we can tighten all this down. This is step 11. We're going to go to 12, which is going to be putting that, attaching the top part of this struts to the canopy again, so they'll be reconnected. Can you grab the bolts to the canopy, sir? All right, now we're on to attaching the canopy. We're going to use the same hardware we took out of it. Just put your struts up in the same position, put them through and tighten it. Same with that one you might have took out of the front. So get those all in, tighten it down. Then we'll get, that's step number 12. Now we can go around and tighten everything that we put on, make sure it's all tight. So let's finish tightening those in. All right, don't be like us, guys, and forget if you have these curtain things to put them back up in there. We forgot it, so we're gonna put those up in now, and then we'll go on to the next step. So let's finish that. All right, guys, we're closing in on this. Now we're going around and we're going to be tightening all the bolts that we've left loose. So go around, tighten them all. That's because we just finished with step 12 by attaching the canopy. Now we're gonna tighten everything, and then we'll go on to the part where we put on the seat bottom. So let's get all this stuff tightened, then we'll go on to that seat bottom. All right, now that you guys got all them bolts tightened up back here and you did all that, now you can put your back rest back on using the same hardware you took it out with. Self-explanatory, just put it through each one of the holes and tighten it down. So we're gonna do that and we'll go on to the next step. All right, guys, home stretch, 13th and final step. We're going to put the HD bracket on the back here. Don't forget your nylon strap. That's to help you lift it up. Put it in your desired location. We're going to pick it to the left. You can pick it anywhere you like. Then we put our brackets centered over the holes that are here. And that's ready in position. Now we're going to get our seat. And on your seat, you got a thicker end and a skinnier end. You want to put your thick end towards the front. That's the way when you sit in it, it kind of holds you in the seat. So it's kind of going to be like this. Now the tricky part of this is flipping this all over and lining the screws up, which is your final packet number 6. You're going to put them in from the back side and try to get them started through all those holes through the bracket, the nylon strap, and your seat. So let's see how good we're going to do at that. No. Leave it there. You made a good point. We don't want the nylon strap where we had it. You want it to place out this way. That way you can grab it easier. You don't want it under your seat. Made no sense. Okay, watch the bracket and set this back down. You got it? See if I got the hole. Did I get it? First shot? No, I did. Just like that, you're gonna finish putting the other. There's 6 of them all, or excuse me, 8 of them all together. Put those in. You have completed the project. It will be successfully done, and it looks awesome on there. All right, guys, we got all them screws in and tightened up. We brought them down with this, but we tightened them with this because they are going into plastic. You don't want to pull it out. And the last step in that is there's these plastic plugs that plug the hole. You just want to put those in, then crack yourself open a cold one. You completed your job. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything about anything we did in the video, or we got anything, leave them down below. We'll also leave links to this stuff. We got these from I think it was Buggies Unlimited. This thing here, this seat. So they have everything you need there for your golf cart. Like I said, we'll leave links to that down below. If you guys don't mind, take a minute here, click that subscribe button. I know a lot of you guys aren't subscribed. Please just click the button. Helps the channel out a little bit. Lets us know you guys are watching and you like our content. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification and that thumbs up. You know when we're going to post a video. We're going to keep going on this cart and put more things on here. I think the next thing will probably be, I think the heavy duty springs for the rear of this, since we do have the seat on here. They kind of recommend the HD springs. So that'll probably be our next job. They just arrived today, so you'll see that in the next video. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Try something new.
Whenever your heart is broken,